Hello friend, I want to tell you about the Lexus RX car. In the segment of large prestigious SUVs, the choice of cars is huge, starting from the Volvo XC90 through the Mercedes M-Class or BMW X5 and ending with the Range Rover. An interesting alternative to European proposals in this segment is the Lexus RX, one of the first mass-produced SUVs with a hybrid system. Could the combination of a combustion engine with an electric engine herald problems? If you are expecting an engine offering straight from the Mercedes M-Class or BMW X5, you will be disappointed. Not only are there few powertrains here, but to make matters worse, you won't find even a single diesel under the hood of the Lexus RX. The petrol engines can reward you with longevity, although the basic version of the RX 300 has problems with excessive engine oil consumption. This applies mainly to models from the beginning of production. When deciding on a hybrid, you also have to reckon with the fact that the batteries won't last forever, and the electronics controlling the management of the hybrid system like to play tricks. Although such problems are rather rare, it's better to be on your guard and have the chosen model thoroughly checked at an independent service center that knows a lot about hybrid cars, or at an authorized service center before buying. Although neither engine lacks flexibility, and you can easily overtake anything you encounter on your way, the performance of the RX 300 is definitely disappointing. The base version with a 3.0-liter engine accelerates the Japanese SUV to the first 100 in 9.0 seconds. By today's standards, this is definitely too slow. On the other hand, at that time the competition offered much slower versions. For example, the Mercedes ML230 or the Volvo XC90D5. So it's not that bad. Nevertheless, I recommend buying a more powerful engine. Lexus RX has four-wheel drive on board. FWD versions were also available, but this does not mean that it will cope well on off-road routes. If you do not want to repair the suspension and drivetrain, it is better to avoid driving this car off the asphalt. Do not count on any off-road properties. The RX is a typical luxury boulevard. There are two transmissions on offer, a 6-speed automatic and a continuously variable CVT. The front suspension uses McPherson struts, while the rear has a fully independent wishbone system. To improve ride comfort, air springs were used here, which were only offered as an option. Safety? The American organization IIHS considered the level of safety in a frontal collision as good. The seats, which do not protect the spines of passengers, fared much worse in tests. What wears out the fastest in the Lexus RX? First of all, the front suspension, where you will first need to replace the metal rubber elements in the wishbones, and then the shock absorbers. If you have decided on a car with air suspension, the service costs will be much higher. Unfortunately, the wheel bearings are also not very durable. Due to the large mass of the car, more frequent replacement of brake pads and discs must be expected. Many problems in operation are also caused by the rear calipers, which tend to block. There are also cases of leaks of fluid from the cooling system, as well as engine oil from the area of the oil pan. The power steering system is also not particularly tight, and in some cars the pump for this system requires replacement. Sometimes the cruise control fails to obey. Lexus RX users complain about poorly attached headlights, easily breaking too delicate catches. Xenon leveling also has its moods. When inspecting the car, it is worth paying attention to the condition of the exhaust system hangers. It's true that replacing them isn't particularly expensive or troublesome, but nobody wants the exhaust to break off while driving. In addition, water gets into the trunk in many cases, but fortunately it's nothing serious. You can also complain about the broken CD player and errors in the navigation system. Fortunately, some of these types of faults have already been repaired by the first owners under warranty. Avoid units imported from the US. They have been in serious accidents, which makes it impossible to deal with faulty electrical wiring. Lexus RX, as befits a model of this brand, does not break down too often, but if something does, it certainly will not be cheap. You can't count on reasonable maintenance costs for a Japanese SUV, even if you only have to replace consumable parts. On top of that, there are expensive visits to gas stations. When choosing the RX, you also have to come to terms with a not very precise steering system, unsophisticated styling, underpowered brakes, and questionable quality of interior materials. Once you accept all these shortcomings, you will enjoy rich equipment, high driving comfort, above-average reliability, excellent soundproofing of the interior, and, of course, the uniqueness of the car. Thanks for listening to me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and rate my video. If you know of any problems with this car that I haven't mentioned, be sure to write about them in the comments.